Hey guys, welcome to my black screen series, or welcome back to my black screen series. This is week 4, episode 4, the fifth in the series though, because there was 2 episodes or 2 parts to episode 3. So yeah, it's the 28th today, January the 28th, 2024. It's a little bit of a different scenario to what I've done so far recording these. Normally I'm stationary, so not sure if you can tell. It's a nice day and I'm walking. When I say nice day, it's a bit mild, which is nice in summer. We've had a bit of rain. So yeah, because it's so cool today, not really hot in the slightest. It was a bit warm, a bit muggy and warm this morning, but I went and had a dip with the dogs in the creek at home. Just walking past that creek now and I can hear it. I don't know if you guys can hear it over me talking. But yeah, you'll probably be hearing the insects chirping away and stuff. The cicadas. They're all in tune. Anyway, yeah, I just thought I was going to actually record this a bit later. But knowing me, if I did do that, it might be really late. So yeah, I wanted to get this out on time. So the only way to get it out on time is to make time for it. So anyway, since the last episode, I haven't had another therapy session since then. So there's nothing much I can update there. But I did want to go through a bit of my history, namely my drug history, or drug background, or whatever. So as you probably know, I'm 55, turning 56 this year, and I started smoking cannabis when I was 15. So I said 15, 25, 35, 45, 55, 40 years. So 41 years shortly. That's a long time. Have I regretted it? Honestly, no. I had to think hard, like, was there a time where I've regretted it in my life? There actually was a time when I became a born-again Christian, my early 20s, after I'd stuffed up my marriage and yeah, things weren't going so great. By stuffing up my marriage, I killed my friendship circle as well, and also family really didn't want anything to do with me either. So yeah, I was really kind of stuck for friends, and I could see myself jumping into the path of the wrong friends. So I was walking around Parramatta in Sydney, and just around just on the northern side of the railway station kind of thing, and heading up towards the church, the old sandstone church there that's historic. Yeah, I guess this guy was in the right place at the right time, and he came up to me and did a churchy spiel. Car just went past, just to prove I'm walking. Yeah, so he did a reasonably good churchy spiel on me just at the right time when I was maybe vulnerable and curious and thinking about a change in life. Had lots of questions and stuff, but anyway, that's all history now. I went through church, I became dedicated did my best. And I guess because of my autism, I overstudied it all. So attending prayer groups, men's breakfasts, special needs groups, just a host of different things, on top of going to just about every service I could go to. I was going to like 4 or 5 services a weekend, and I was taking a handful of people with me, at least one, sometimes 3 or 4. I'd fill my car up with people and get them to church, people that didn't have cars and people I was trying to worship to, not worship, preach to, sorry. And, people that I thought, they'd be put in my path to be rescued from the sins of the world and needed some God in their life. Yeah, guys, honestly, don't bother. If you're sceptical about Christianity, remain so. Don't jump in. You just waste time. It's good for when you're on the other side of it, like I am. If any Christian tries preaching to you, anything they can throw at me. I've got a bunch of awkward questions for them that they can't answer. And if they do answer truthfully, they just look bad. Someone that's got enough knowledge in the Bible, we get into debates. Anyway, that's not what this was all about. This was about my cannabis use and my drug history, drug use in my life. So, 15, started smoking pot. My dad grew weed in the backyard. Dad's not a pothead. Well, he wasn't. He's dead now, about 10 years now. He wasn't a pothead, but he grew it to make money. And I think he only really grew a crop or 2. One decent one, and that was at one house. And I think the house before that was the one where I started smoking pot. And he actually had a couple of decent plants in the yard, 2 or 3 decent sized bush plants. So yeah, I was giving them a little snip and started smoking pot. I hooked up with a couple of mates that were my age. I was 15, they were 15, and I was living at Revesby. Yeah, Revesby, near Bankstown. I think it's on the East Hill. Yeah, well, it is. It's on the East Hills line. So it's southwest of Sydney. And these guys were, within a k's walk, which is nothing if you're 15. And so we met and became mates. The 2 of them were already mates because they'd already lived in the area for years. I moved into the area. Basically, I had a falling out with my mum and moved in with my dad. That was an ongoing thing throughout my teen years. But around 15, we were heading towards the end of it. I'd basically piss off one of my parents until they'd had enough of me, or I'd had enough of them, or we were fighting, or things weren't working out. And then I'd be desperate to have the other one rescue me, help me out, let me move back in with them. So I moved back in with them to escape that drama, and then just eventually start up new drama there. And I don't know if it was all me. I don't know if I was difficult to get along with as a kid or what it was, but yeah, maybe the pot was a big part of it, a big negative part of it. The pot, I will be honest, not just in my younger years, but even in adult life, the pot did actually slow me down a lot, that stereotypical stoner thing, being a no-hoper and sleeping in and not doing much and not bothered to clean in the house properly and not worrying so much about bills and whoopie-doo, I lost my job. Oh, at least I can smoke weed all day. and an extra bonus, I got severance pay. Yoo-hoo! You know what I mean? Like, I'd walk out of one job one weekend, and maybe if I wanted to take a bit of time off because I had a bit of cash, I would. If I didn't, I'd just get into another job and be starting that straight after the weekend. I finish one job Friday, start another one Monday or Tuesday. So it wasn't so much that jobs were much easier to come by than they are today. It was more that, sorry if you're hearing my footsteps on gravel like this. And I'm wearing thongs, sorry. Yeah, I just distracted myself. And some autism trait there, the noises were getting to me. And now there's a dog barking in the distance, I'm about to walk past it. I think I might pause, get past it, refocus. I've kind of lost where I was, but yeah, I'll get back on track and I'll record again in a minute or two after I get past these dogs. There's dogs both sides of the road where I'm walking past at the moment. And I'm just about upon them. Trying to be quiet, but one's already barked. So the other one's going to be ready watching for me. Alright. Okay guys, sorry about that. I'm back again. Oh, I've been here the whole time. You haven't been. I guess you have been too. You've been waiting. But the waiting for you was a bit quicker than it was for me. Anyway, I'm past the noisy dogs. They barked. And now it's quiet. They stopped barking, so I started recording. And I kind of remember where I was at, so I'm just going to continue on. So we're 15 with a couple of mates, living out at Reevesby near Bankstown in southwestern Sydney. Dad's growing some weed in the backyard. These boys had just started smoking pot recently. And we were talking about it, and yeah, I think I'd tried to play around with smoking it myself, but I had no idea what I was doing. I was smoking wet leaves. I was using school exercise books as papers. It was a disaster. Yeah, no one teaching me what to do or anything. I was just having a go. But anyway, so I had managed to get a bit of puff of weed out of that, and I could feel the effects a little, but it kind of turned me on to more. So I was talking to these guys, and they smoked weed too, or just started themselves. And I mentioned how, you know, I'd tried it and I liked it, and I said I really wanted to try smoking bongs, because they smoked bongs. They'd get a plastic Gorky bottle and a garden hose, and get a aluminium can and cut a cone piece up, stick that in the garden hose. By the way guys, I'm hitching. I might have to stop if a car comes and stops for me, but that's alright, we'll continue later. Hang on, I'm hitching. Car's coming past now. Not sure if it's stopping. It is. Okay, back with you soon. Alright guys, yeah, I won't apologise for getting a lift, but yeah, it's, I'm sorry I had to make you wait, and I've mucked up the flow of this twice now. But anyway, it's probably going to be a third time, because I'm just doing a walk out of town and then I'll hitch home. So if somewhere along the way, I'm not hitching at the moment, I'm just walking the side of the road, but someone might recognise me and know where I'm going and want to give me a lift home, and which means we get another interruption. I might edit all this nonsense out, but it's probably not likely, seeing as though there's no editing in the previous Black Screen series episodes or videos. I have to say videos because there's 3 episodes and 4 videos. But anyway, We've still got cicadas buzzing. We've also got some magpies and kookaburras going off. Or the kookaburras were going off just before I started recording. Anyway, so back to when I was 15 and starting to smoke weed with these guys. So anyway, we all began to smoke together basically. We were smoking buddies. And anyway, I was pinching my dad's weed and we were hanging out together and smoking weed, and yeah, eventually things once again blew up. I was staying with my father. Things blew up there and I was out of Revesby and back out at my mother's place out at Western Sydney, place called Warrington County actually. Yeah, I don't mind saying these things because my dad's passed away. My mum's moved many times since then, so she doesn't even live in Sydney anymore. Hasn't done for years. Anyway, car, I didn't hitch and it didn't stop. Another one, but I just didn't want to try and talk over them. So anyway, I'm smoking pot with these guys, and had a falling out with my father and met back in with my mother, so now I'm not hanging out with the guys anymore, because I'm living with my mother. And yeah, then it was just a new group of friends around my mother's area that I started smoking pot with. They didn't seem to be quite my age. So yeah, now I remember when we're going forward a year. Well, I was still 15 when I started smoking with them. But yeah, still at 16 and even 17, I think I was still, definitely 15, 16, I was still smoking weed with the new bunch of people out at my mother's place, or in that neighbourhood. That's when I got a licence and a car, and started to be the one. So I was a year older than these guys, so instead of all being 15, they were 15 when I was 16, and then when I turned 17 and got a licence, they were still 16. And it's funny how all these people, I remember their names. Oh, now a car's stopping for me, I think. Are they? I think so. I haven't asked them to stop. They stopped for me, but I'm pretty sure. Hang on. No, they've driven off again. Oh, they just tipped something out the door, like some drink or something. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so yeah, so around that time, 15, 16, the new group, sorry about the screen going a bit pink or red looking, it's my phone cover. Normally this sits on my bed when I'm doing this and doesn't move around. I'm trying to hold it and occasionally I change my grip and I notice that the screen's got a bit of brightness to it. And if you wanted black screen, you'd be disappointed, wouldn't you? Anyway, so yeah, around that time, the new group of people out at my mum's, they, even though they're younger than me, they were into speed and they were shooting it up. Woohoo! Sorry, make it sound like I'm excited. No, back then it was exciting. But anyhow, I didn't shoot up. I resisted for quite some time. They'd all shoot up and then I'd have it in my mouth. You know, even squirt it out of a syringe into my mouth. But yeah, I was doing that with them, plus smoking. Then my mum got married. Or she did that while I was still 15, I think. Maybe 16, yeah. Mum got married. Her son that was the youngest, was spending a bit of time with me, and he was into speed and weed himself. So yeah, we had a common interest. So yeah, I kind of, right through my life, kind of had someone that I'd gravitate to, or a couple of people that I'd gravitate to indulge in the speed thing. It's not like pot where you just get a bag of weed and you can go home and spread it out through over a week or 2 weeks or a month even before you run out, and then you have to go back and get more. If you get enough to start with, I'm saying. You know, like an ounce of weed, I could stay at home for 2 weeks. I only need to go out and get food and drinks and dog food, the bare essentials, you know. I sound like I'm puffing. Yeah, I'm not really that fit from my smoking. I smoke like a chimney. Still. Smoke bongs. Smoke with tobacco, always have. And yeah, when I'm comfortable financially, I don't have any issues with buying good quality tobacco and good quality weed, and then, you know, so like organic tobacco with good quality weed, and then winding back the tobacco use because I've got good consistent quality weed and as much as I want. But when you're broke, it turns out tobacco is a much cheaper thing to smoke than weed. So you start putting more and more tobacco in your mix, and now you're coughing more and you're wheezing more, and yeah, you're not getting more stoned, but you do get more cones. So for someone that enjoys the smoking side of it, you know, stretching it out, so to speak, is the preferred method. And I do that with way too much tobacco at times. I'm being honest here. Anyway, from that, now the truck's coming. It's going past now. Wasn't so loud, I thought it'd be louder. Oh, now I'm going to be a crazy person talking in front of someone that's sitting in that car that I'm walking past. But yeah, they can just think I'm on the phone, right? Looks like I'm talking to someone on my phone and I've got it on loudspeaker, and the other person's just not talking. So shh, be quiet, I'm walking past someone. Oh, now someone on a push bike. Anyway, things you get when you're less than a kilometre from town. Hey. Alright, we smiled and said hey to each other, and now I'm back. Alright, so I normally like to hitch just another 50 metres ahead of where I am, so you'll notice me talking and breathing better then when I stop. So anyway, I've always had these people that I'd gravitated to, and the only time I'd stopped was for about 3 months, I think, when I did the born again Christian thing in my early 20s. Stopped completely, stopped tobacco, everything, you know. No weed, no speed, nothing. Speed was only ever a recreational thing anyway. I was never really right into it. There was times when I was, and that I felt addicted. But yeah, weed has always been the one that if you say I'm addicted to something, that's what it is. And I don't really think of weed as much of an addiction as it is a drug of dependence or comfort. It can be a recreational drug, it can be a therapeutic drug, it can be a pain relieving drug, a sleep aid, a metabolism stabilizer, an appetite, what's the word, opposite to suppressant, but it can also suppress appetite as well as encourage appetite, like i.e. the munchies. Anyone that smokes pot will probably tell you the time that they had the munchies and nearly had a fridge out. It sounds disgusting. Anyway, I might sit down because I'm pacing. I can't stand still. So I've got to sit on the side of the road and wait for a car to come along. I'll be breathing better because it's like I'm still walking and talking. I can hear my breathing. Oh, sitting down now. And now we can talk. No one's coming past. So, after the brief spell of stopping, or apart from that brief spell of stopping when I was in my early 20s, doing the churchy thing, I've smoked since I was 15, daily. But only, there's probably been a few days or a couple of days in a row or something like that where I haven't actually smoked. And usually I was filling the gap with cigarettes at the time. And it was only because I ran out or I couldn't get any, or I had to wait till payday to get some, or my dealer had run out, or all sorts of things. Living in Sydney too, a lot of hydroponics, not so much bushweed, which is not a healthy option. It's stronger. It increases your desire for really strong weed because it's a cut above average. You've got beer, if you can look at beer as being like leaf and tip. Then you move on to bushweed, which would be more like wine and port maybe. And then you got hydroponics, which is edging more towards spirits. It's stronger. If we're comparing it to alcohol, it's stronger and consistently strong, and works well. So when you try and smoke some bushweed after smoking hydroponics for days and days on end, you get disappointed because it doesn't really do anything. Get some hydroponics into you and all of a sudden you're smashed. You can sleep, you can eat, and you're stoned, but yeah, you're not getting those effects out of bushweed when you've built your tolerance up on hydroponics. Now, there is good bushweed. I didn't really discover that till I came to Nimbin, and didn't really appreciate how good bush could be until I came up here. Nimbin's got the reputation for being cannabis capital of Australia. We have the Nimbin Mardi Gras each year. I don't know of another town or place in Australia where they have a big annual cannabis law reform rally. There's 420 picnics, in Melbourne, I think Adelaide and Brisbane, maybe Sydney, but yeah, where on 420 all the stoners get together and rebel with a joint or whatever. But yeah, they get targeted by police. We don't get targeted by police. Maybe the people that are driving in and out, they get targeted because we have the lick strip things, drug testing for the cannabis. So they set up roadblocks in and out of town. It's probably kind of a deterrent, and also kind of their way of saying, look, we're doing something to stop these crazy hippies from at least driving stone and killing someone. and to be honest, pot's not that type of drug. Someone that's never smoked pot before, if they get smashed and get behind the wheel, recipe for disaster, right? You can definitely be impaired driving while stoned. But someone that's a regular smoker, like me, when I had my license, I think I was 17 when I started driving all the time. By then I'd had good 2 years of smoking experience daily, pretty much. And that, I found that the times that I didn't get stoned before I drove, or at least have a little bit of a chill, I found those times where I was more anxious behind the wheel, more aggressive as a driver. I was actually a safer driver with a bit of weed in me. It sounds counterintuitive, I know. It sounds ridiculous. It sounds like an alcoholic telling you that if I just had a beer before I drive, I would be good. I'm safer with a beer in me. And I can kind of understand that argument too. I mean, yeah, don't get impaired, maybe have a beer to stop you from having the DTs hanging out for a beer. Anyway, God, it's muggy. I'm going to the creek when we get back. I was nice and cool when I left home. It's been getting hotter and hotter on this trip. Like I said at the start of this, if you listen to the beginning, you'll hear how nice and cool and comfortable I was telling everyone the day was. But yeah, when you're standing up, walking around, carrying a bag of shopping, you soon warm up. It's muggy. Anyway, so oh, pink screen again. Sorry guys. So yeah, the speed stopped before I came to Nimbin about 18 years ago. It had actually transformed into crystal meth or ice addiction. In New Zealand they call it P. They've probably got a name for it wherever you live. But yeah, it's you know, the ice epidemic they talk about. And yeah, it's basically people smoking the stuff in an ice pipe. If you know what that is. If you don't want to know. Don't need to be googling it and learning. Yeah, it's a drug I won't promote. So we've all made mistakes. That's one of mine. But I had a lot of fun on it. I won't deny that. But yeah, if I could go back, it cost me stuff over the years. It cost me some relationships. It cost me some mental health. It cost me dental health. Definitely cost me my teeth. Smoking meth, you end up having a dry mouth a lot, and which means that your mouth is, you know, you don't have enough saliva in there, and your mouth becomes acidic and dry and bad for your teeth. Your teeth end up becoming brittle and chalky and break up, whatever. So yeah, I years and years and years of that stuff. Like I was doing it, I stopped, like I said, you know, 18 years ago, before I came to Nimbin, and haven't touched it since. But I was doing it for a good 7 years, I think. Good 5 years solidly, like hardcore. But yeah, probably 7 years. And then before that I was on speed anyway, shooting it up. But yeah, that's usually more white powder rather than crystals. But when you got crystals and you're on speed, you're like, oh yeah, it's a real deal. Got crystals this time, yeah. You know, no one's cut it with some powdery crap to, you know, stretch it out. That's what people do with chemical drugs. It's hard to do that with pot, stretching it out, but people even try shit with that too. Anyway, so I'd quit, you know, by 2005 or 6 and came to Nimbin. Haven't looked back, but yeah, pot's still a thing, and of course living in cannabis capital of Australia, I've kind of set myself up for a fall if I want to stop smoking pot, right? No, look, honestly, I'm happy to stop smoking pot when the day comes, but that day hasn't come yet. You know, it could come soon. I might find that all of a sudden I can't breathe and walk at the same time or something. You know what I mean? Like I might have some really serious health ailments. I might get a diagnosis that scares me out of smoking. Emphysema, lung cancer, you know, who knows? Could be anything. But yeah, at the end of the day, at the moment I'm happy to smoke pot. I wish I had more money to get stronger pot. I don't really necessarily want to get into hydroponics, but I know that if you want really high quality organic weed, that's consistently up there with the strength of hydroponics, you need to be paying a similar sort of price that you do with hydroponics. So that's another thing, as well as being stronger. Hydro's usually dearer than bush. And so, yeah, I've been smoking bush for a long time lately. Or a long time lately. Lately I've been smoking bush a lot. For consistently bush, just nothing but bush for quite some time. Months and months. So, yeah, there might have been someone that had some hydro and offered me a billy or two, and I didn't pay attention and didn't even notice I'd smoked some, but yeah, I can't remember actually having any hydro for quite some time. So yeah, I was smoking weed and continue to do so right up to this day. And at present, I do nothing but weed, and that's been that way pretty much the whole time since I've moved to Nimbin. The exception would be hash, edibles, but they're still weed. Another exception which isn't weed would be mushrooms, but and a bit of acid. But usually when I'm doing them, it's not to go tripping. I'm not a tripper. People assume I am with the tie-dye and the long hair, but I'm not a tripper. I don't like being off my head on acid or mushrooms. You lose reality, and you go into some confronting or scary or freaky places. You know, the mind you can go through all these sort of almost spiritual journeys and awakenings and stuff. You know, I don't want to go through all that. I've done a bit of it and I know what it's like. Enough people describe stuff to me and saying, oh, you should do it. You know, that you're mature enough to handle it. No thanks, I'm not into it. I'm not a tripper. But what I do like those things for is their ability to help with depression. So microdosing, especially mushrooms, if you've got something like gold tops, which, like, you know, you have like 5 grams of that and you're having a proper mushroom trip. You know, if you're going to do it, you might as well do it properly. You'd need a gram or two to have a good trip anyway. But yeah, so instead of having the 5 grams, I'm having like 0.1 of a gram and doing it every second or third day, not every day. So if you understand how mushrooms work. Oh, this person might even give me a lift now, this one that's been watching me talk. Let's see. It's a possibility, yeah, it's happening. Alright, finish this when I get home. Righto guys, I'm home. Because I chatted with that person on the way home, I got no idea where I was now. No idea what more I should say. I will say that I've tried all sorts of drugs. I've never been addicted to any other drug than cannabis, really. And like I said, you know, you can argue that cannabis is not an addictive drug. I'm addicted to the tobacco that I put with my cannabis, right? And proof of that is when I run out of cannabis, I will smoke tobacco through my bong. Give me a tobacco bong over a cigarette. Sounds gross. Sounds chatty. Sounds disgusting. It is. But yeah, I've done disgusting, chatty, gross things before, and I'll probably do them again. So I'm not worried. I'm not living up to anyone's standards, and I've struggled keeping up with my own standards. Anyway, oh, there's a kangaroo jumping. So yeah, I've got because I'm in the bush here. I'm back home now, by the way. Because I'm in the bush here, I get to see kangaroos just sitting here. The scenery I've got just sitting here is pretty good at the moment. It's good all the time, really. Yeah, at least you don't have to put up with my thongs flapping and gravel noise on the road, my footsteps, you know. And with me running short of breath because I'm walking and trying to talk at the same time when I'm unfit, being a smoker. But yeah, you do still have to, unless you want to stop listening now, you can do that anytime, right? But yeah, you do have to, if you're going to keep listening, you do have to put up with me beating around the bush and talking a lot of nonsense and garbage. But that's part of the fun of being here, right? You don't come here for some sort of sophisticated conversation. You don't come here to learn a lesson on something, life lesson. You come here to share my experiences. That's what it is. I'm hoping that by sharing my experiences, not only are people understanding myself better, but they understand life and themselves a little better as well. You know, I hope there's something in something along the way, listening to this series, that actually touches on you in a way that you go, wow, that's something serious, and that can apply to me, and that's something that I can use to change my life now. I don't have to go through that journey. I can just use that information right now to start changing my life. You know what I mean? Like, if I can do that with just one person, seriously, it sounds like a cliche throwaway line that people say when they say, oh, if I've just made one person laugh tonight, my job's worthwhile, you know, like for a comedian or someone, you know, or you know, a preacher. If I've just led one person to Christ tonight, it's all worthwhile, right? Yeah, hear the congregation go, amen, brother. But yeah, if I really, that's what I'm about. If I mean, apart from the benefits I get, sharing and therapy, you know, you guys being in my ear, and I get to say whatever I want, pretty much, within reason. You know, pending a block from YouTube or losing listeners. But yeah, I can, you know, I've got free speech here. I can say what I want. So I take advantage of that, and I say what I want. So yeah, you know, if you're hanging around, you're listening to this, I do appreciate you. I really do. And if you're getting something from it, I'd like to know, because that would inspire me, you know. And it's, you got no idea when you're talking so much nonsense like that. I mean, it's not all nonsense, but you know what I mean. When you're talking about so many different things and getting into things in so many different ways as well, you really don't understand at the end of the day if you've helped someone what specifically it was, unless they tell you, right? You don't even know that you've helped anyone actually unless they tell you. But yeah, so I'd like to know if I've helped you. I'd like to know how, or what I said and how that helped you maybe. Even if I just got you to think, you know. But anyway, back to me, because it's all about me, right? Yeah, so like I've tried all sorts of drugs, never been addicted to any really. But you could say that I'm an addictive personality to some degree. Yeah, I know that I can pick up an addiction quite easy. I've tried heroin and cocaine a few times, and they are drugs that I could really, if I had money, or if I was into crime seriously, or if I had someone throwing them at me, I could seriously get into them. But also I could kill myself on heroin, right? I could really mess my life up on cocaine. So yeah, you take some risks. I've seen the risk taking with cocaine. Living on the edge, thinking you're above the law and thinking you know, you're Al Capone or someone. Anyway, you know, like the Godfather stuff. But yeah, I've tried lots of different things. I've tried ecstasy. I've tried acid. You know, I've done all sorts of things. But at the end of the day, and even alcohol. At the end of the day, pot was the thing. Even alcohol didn't cut it for me. Horrible stuff. For me, you know, you get a hangover. Well, my hangovers would come on that night, the night that I was still drinking. While I was still drinking, I'd start to get a hangover. I'd start getting a headache, feel dehydrated. My joy would bugger off on me. I wouldn't be happy anymore having a good time drinking. And sometimes all this would be triggered by me throwing up, and I hated throwing up, especially alcohol. Yuck. I don't throw up easily either. And that's another thing with opiates. I'm sensitive to them, and opiates can make me throw up because they affect me so strongly, and I'm not used to them. So yeah, I couldn't be on a methadone program, or I couldn't be a street junkie on heroin. As attractive as it's been in the past, trust me, I've had some mates that were on it, and having them describe what it's like, because you only see part of it when you watch someone off their head on heroin, right? You only see someone shutting down basically and going on the nod, and being non-productive. But that's only part of it. You don't know what they're experiencing, and believe me, just about every heroin user, even the ones that are reformed, will tell you that at that moment it's lovely. You don't realise that you're being a big embarrassment and nodding off in front of people mid-sentence, or go to light up a cigarette 50 times and go on the nod each time you go to do it. Yeah, just all sorts of things. Like, I watched a bloke burn the tip of his nose with his lighter because he missed where the end of his cigarette was and closed his eyes and started to go on the nod, and his head went down towards his lighter. And it wasn't until he burnt the tip of his nose and went, oh, shit, and it took him a second to react. But you know what I mean? Like, it's a horrible drug for that lack of control, but they don't care. They're in a lovely place. It's yeah, I have tried heroin. I have shot it up just a tiny bit once, and yeah, smoking it on top of cones of pot, that was, that I pretty much got addicted to it in the course of 2 weeks, and only one day a week. Friday night, 2 weeks in a row, I wanted to do it. I was addicted by the 3rd week. I wanted to do it again that next Friday. So you think, oh, well, it's only once a week, no big deal, right? Yeah, because I wouldn't have stuck to once a week. I would have continued it my next journey would have been to push it into Saturday and make it an all weekend thing. And then of course we want to balance the week up a bit more, so you have some more on Friday. You start earlier Friday, or maybe you take a day off, or you don't go to work Monday and have an extra day. Yeah, it's horrible what heroin can do to people, and the life robbing it does. It robs people of their life. Pot, you can argue, does the same thing, and I won't deny that pot, to a degree, has robbed me of some of my life. Some of my productivity has been taken away by pot. Some of that enthusiasm and the go-getting attitude, has been taken away by it. You don't necessarily become that stereotypical stoner that's couch locked in front of MTV, or in front of a PlayStation, or in front of and eating pizza and not leaving the house and having a mess in the lounge room with Coke bottles and pizza boxes and spilt bongs, and you know what I mean. Like, it's a lifestyle, and that stereotypical lifestyle gets to be a phase for some people. It gets to be a lifestyle for others. For me, it was a bit of both. I sort of came and went with it. I liked it. I liked the Beavis and Butthead, the Cheech and Chong, the Harold and Kumar kind of stoner lifestyle. It was fun. It was funny. It wasn't boring like people think. We had a lot of laughs and a lot of good times, and I still have good times on pot to this day. It's not like I need to smoke cones, just, you know, like I've heard people on drugs say, oh, I need to have all this just so I can be normal. You know, like, yes, it does help me function because it calms me down. It removes some of my pain and helps me to get through the day without being sidetracked as much with all that stuff. It helps me with focus, but it also demotivates me. So it's got good and bad just in that one area of my life. You know, the good part is that I can be more focused on something, but the bad part is that I'm less motivated to do something. Hey guys, come on. So, hey Missy. Oi, Luke and Leia, stop it. Trying to talk here. Anyway, guys, I don't know how long this is because there's 2 other sections now. It's 3 sections I'm going to have to stitch together in editing. I'm guessing the other 2 sections are probably, oh come on, half an hour or more. Just a sec, I'll shut these dogs up. Sorry about that. I quietened the dogs up. I didn't really do much, just paused it, got out to see what they were barking at, said shush, and they haven't made a peep since. But yeah, I've had times where I've been a cannabis activist. In a way I still am. I'm just not as active as I once was. I run cannabis groups on Facebook. I've got stuff on YouTube dedicated to cannabis. I've got, you know, a lot of my friends are either cannabis users, cannabis growers, into the medicinal side of it, or all of the above. You know what I mean? Like this, Nimbin's got an interesting mix of people, and I've tried not too hard, or tried a little hard, sorry, to not get too locked into one group. It's easy to do in Nimbin. It's easy to just find yourself in a niche, and you're in this little Nimbin bubble with, you know, a bunch of people, whether it's a small group or a large group, but it's the same group. So I mean, I've been guilty of that to some degree, but I try not to stick in that. I have become a bit of a recluse lately, you know, since losing my bestie Frances when she died towards the end of September. I have isolated, almost like COVID. I've done the self-isolation thing. It's just, to be honest, people let me down, and I don't know if you can say that I feel that I don't think that they deserve my company for letting me down. Yeah, and so what I do, I just like hide from everyone because I feel hurt by them. When in reality, there's probably not a whole lot that any one individual has done or not done. It's more not done, right? I'm butthurt because people don't come and see me or ask about me or call me or try and include me in things. But it's my problem. I know that. I'm not an idiot. So, but yeah, I isolate because of it. And that's not healthy, I know that. So I'm pretty much in town once a day to get some supplies, you know, some I'm addicted to iced coffees. But yeah, some iced coffees and something for the dogs to eat, maybe something for me to eat. Might need some toilet paper or something, you know what I mean? There's always something. So once a day usually, or sometimes it might only be like 5 days a week that I make it into town, because there might be a couple of days of the week where I've got enough to get through. But yeah, on the most part, I'm in town briefly every day, like I did today. Hitch in there, grab my drinks, didn't worry about dog food because I still had enough, and hitch back again. So anyway, I'm back onto the drug use because I wanted to make sure I covered as much of it as I could in this episode. As soon as I hadn't had another therapy session, so I haven't got much more to talk about there. And even still, like I said in the last episode, I don't really want to go into the personal bits in the therapy sessions. So we need to find other things that are just as good to talk about and just as real and just as open and honest as what we would get in a therapy session, right? And that's where this drug use has come into play. That's where that, I'm sure I've mentioned already in this about the abuse that I suffered at the hand of my father. That's where that comes into play. I'm opening up on different topics because I feel that by talking about them, I'm pushing myself towards understanding them and understanding me, and maybe I might get some positive feedback of someone that, people are already starting to engage. But yeah, I'm hoping that someone comes along and starts to say some magic words, not just a throwaway line, oh, I'm sorry to hear about this, or at least you're doing okay and you're off the meth now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really want those throwaway lines. I'd like someone to engage with me and really tell me what they think. Tell me what they think about who I am and how I am the person I am. What they think I should change, or I don't need to change, or I don't need to be so worried about changing, or I haven't thought about changing and I should change. I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, I'd like some feedback, like a friend would, like a parent would, like a mentor would. I want you guys to take on that therapist role if you want to. Don't go silly with it though. There's nothing worse than someone that's not qualified trying to tell you all about you, thinking that they know all the answers for your psychology. No, I don't want that, to be honest. I don't want that. If you're going to do that stuff, don't. Keep it real. Be a person. Don't try and be a bloody professional therapist on me, because you'll just piss me off. But totally engage. Like totally. If you say, Dave, yeah, it's not good that you're still smoking pot, but at least you got off the other. You know what I mean? Like, give me something, and go into it and go into why or whatever. Some people have got their opinions. I can tell you now, if you think I'm wrong for smoking pot, well, you're wrong. Look at me. The proof is that I'm happy smoking pot, right? It helps. There's more benefits than there are otherwise. The things that are detrimental to me, like, so the smoking side is the detrimental side. The lack of the go-getting side, the procrastination, the laziness, that's another part that affects me. The financial side, it's not massive compared to other drug users. I'll be honest with you, I'm probably spending $500 a month. There you go. That's pretty close to accurate at the moment. $500 a month. And when I say a month, I'm talking about a 4-week month, not a calendar month. So every 4 weeks, it's $500. Yeah, $250 a fortnight, $125 a week. It's to some people it's nothing, Some people are like, oh, I'll pay more than that for my daughter's tutoring lessons on a piano or a cello, or you know what I mean, or my son's maths tutor charges me more than that for an hour. You know what I mean? Like, I need my therapy. Pot is my therapy. It's not an expensive thing for me. Yes, it has its negative effects as far as health, but they're nothing compared to other drugs. If I was taking pharmaceuticals, I can almost guarantee that I would be more messed up. In some ways, I might be better. You know, I'm not denying that side of it, that they have their place and they can work. I'm not telling people who are on pharmaceutical drugs to get off them and start smoking pot instead. I have been that person in the past, but that's not really me either. I'm more of, if you want to try it, you try it, you know. Don't let me be the person that got you to try it. Let me be the person that educated you maybe and helped you come to a decision on why you want to try it, or how you're going to try it, or for, you know, what particular reason, or what you're going to get out of it, or what you're expecting to get out of it. And because I've been there and done that, I can give a rundown of what anything that people want to know about pot. I've worked as a medicinal cannabis consultant at the Nimbin Hemp Embassy, so we have a hemp embassy. It's really just a non-for-profit organisation where we've just turned it into a shop to sort of cover the costs for the place. And yeah, it's sort of all thing cannabis and law reform. But yeah, I mean, it's not legally, it's not an embassy. You can't get chased with a bag of weed down the street in Nimbin and run into the hemp embassy and go, diplomatic immunity, holding the bag of weed above your head like you've made it across into a safe zone. No, it's not that kind of embassy. It's not even a proper embassy. But we just take on that because it sounds official. It sounds like we're an authority on cannabis, not just for the town but for the country. And that's the way a lot of people in Nimbin feel they are. They feel like they're in town specifically because they want to be part of that authority, the part of that movement that is pushing towards legalisation or decriminalisation or improvements with road usage, you know, like smoking driving laws. Because at the moment it's not about impairment in this country. It's about a positive or negative test. You can get stoned 3 days ago and drive today. You're straight again by the morning, right? Hours later, you're straight. But let's extend it to having a full sleep and being straight in the morning, right? When you wake up, you're straight. You get in the car, you're not impaired. Unless maybe it's your first time, you might still be feeling it. So let's go to the next day, second day in, right? And you decide you're not going to drive because it's now the second day in and you're like, I can still feel that. You wait till the third day and you go, I definitely can't feel a thing now, you know, I'm fine to drive now. You drive, you test positive when you get swabbed and you lose your licence. And you know what I mean? Like, you can lose your job. It's absolutely rubbish that that's the way it's done. It's so wrong, it's so unfair. Maybe we're the only country in the world that does it that way too. That's another thing. Yeah, I've heard the story that other countries don't do this. But so yeah, I'm happy to talk to people about law reform, about prohibition, about the effects of cannabis, about cannabis dependency, about the benefits of cannabis use, whether it's recreational, social, ritualistic, or medicinal, and that includes mental health. So yeah, you could say medicinal is, okay, well, I smoke before I go to bed to get to sleep at night, but that's also mental health, right? Because if you're not sleeping, your mental health suffers. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy to talk about that. I understand a lot of different pharmaceutical drugs and different classes of drugs and how they work on the body or don't work on the body. How cannabis can actually do a better job than a lot of them. So yeah, I'm all good for, if anyone's down for that sort of stuff and they want to know stuff, I'm happy to talk about that. I can be found on Facebook, same name, and you'll probably see my picture looks a bit different at the moment, but yeah, maybe just punch in David Carr Nimbin and you'll probably find me on Facebook quicker that way. find the Nimbin Hemp Embassy and message and say, hey Dave, this is me, because it's only me and another guy that really do the messages from a few sites like Nimbin Mardi Gras, Nimbin Hemp Embassy, and a couple others. So, and there's even ones that I have on my own that I started up, like 5, 6, 7 years ago. I think 2015 I really started to get into the law reform, but it was about 2005, 2006 when I came to Nimbin. So yeah, I'd already been in town, probably close to 10 years when I really got into the law reform. Before that I was just enjoying the lifestyle of Nimbin and being a stoner, which was the attraction of coming here. I didn't come here to become a cannabis activist. I came here to be a stoner. I came here to take a back seat in life. And people could say, "Oh, you're happy with being a no-ho," but no, that's not it at all. It's I've done work in my life. I've had jobs where I've had to bust my ass. I've done labouring. I've hurt my back on labouring jobs. 2 different jobs. I've had back injuries in 2 different parts of my back. I've gone home exhausted. I've woken up in the morning in pain and tired, like I've just come home from a hard day's work. But no, I'm just waking up in the morning and I'm about to get ready and go back to work. So I know what work's about. I've done all sorts of jobs too. Labouring, sales, factory, stores, specialty things like window tinting, swimming pools. I haven't had a particular field really that I was stuck in. It was to sort of get a job. And I've had a few sort of, nothing serious, but I've had a few business things for myself. So starting out with window tinting companies. I started the first one, I had no experience. I was just trying to get work, and I think he liked my enthusiasm and he taught me how to tint. And then went for a few window tinting positions and different window tinting companies. And after a while I decided I was going to give it a go myself, because I'd heard that other people were doing it, and said, yeah, I can do this. What happened was, actually I was having a rough week, and I was already had been thinking about it. And then I had a couple of guys come up to me and said, oh, me and my mate, will you give us a special price if we bring our cars in? And I go, I'll give you a bit better special price, but it won't be the company that I'm working for's guarantee that you get in, it's mine. You won't have their sticker on the back window. I don't even have a sticker. You just get your car tinted. So yeah, I was doing window tinting, and I had 2 guys that wanted it, and so I did it, made a bit of cash, because did their 2 cars on the Friday after I'd finished work, and then on the Saturday after I'd finished work, I did their 2 cars. And then while that was happening, neighbour across the road, neighbour next door, both wanted their cars done. So I teed them up and even started to get a bit of a head start on one of their cars for the next day. Hang on. No, I was going to pause then, but they stopped. Leia, come back. Luke, isn't it? Wow. Just a sec. I'll just get Leia to come back. Leia, come here. Leia, come here now. Leia, Kitty. That girl on the road. You don't go on the road. Good thing I checked. She was on the road, guys. Anyway, so yeah, I'm happy to talk to people about that. I understand a lot about a lot of different drugs. I don't know. I'm not as passionate about drugs as I once was. as keen on them. I'm not against them at all, you know, but I'm not like, once upon a time I was like, yeah, drugs, you know, like wanted to get fucked up on whatever. But yeah, I also, hey, stop that. I also had experiences on drugs that I didn't like. So being really out of it and not having control, making poor decisions while being in that state too. You know, doing things with girls and stuff, you know, like that you think, I only did that because I was off my head. You know, someone say something to you the next day, oh, how was that last night? You had fun with her? I'm like, who? That fat chick. She loved you. I'm like, oh my God, don't tell me. What did I do? You know, like, so it wasn't like blackouts. I didn't have blackouts as much, but it's just that I'd be a bit out of it and I'd need reminding of what happened. I hadn't blacked out, and with time it comes back to me, a lot of it, you know. But when you're out of it, you do miss bits, you know, like you go out and get drunk with people, even if you haven't blacked out and not remembered what happened the day after. It takes you a while to go through all the details and remember, oh, that's right, we went there. Yeah, I forgot we went there. You know what I mean? Oh, that's right, we bumped into such and such. Oh, that's right, that guy tried to pick a fight with you. Well, that's right, I'd had the wrong shoes on at that place and the guy wouldn't let me in and we almost got into a fight. You know, you remember these things, but you don't remember it straight away when you wake up. Like, you know, if a drama happens when you're not drinking, you can remember it straight away when you wake up in the morning, or pretty much. But yeah, I just found that alcohol wasn't for me, and a lot of drugs weren't for me for that reason, for the fact that not having control, having it be detrimental to my health too. So yeah, I used to argue the fact that the reason I loved pot was because I was suicidal and I was trying to kill myself, and I fucked up and picked the wrong drug, because you can't kill yourself with pot. It's really a joke, you know, it's not real. I'm not suicidal and I didn't choose pot to kill myself. But you know, if you believe the propaganda, that's believable. It's plausible, right? But it's not the case at all. I didn't smoke pot because I was suicidal and I chose a drug that I thought was going to kill me, or I could overdose and die on, when it was close to harmless. And in fact probably beneficial in some ways. No, I chose pot because, and maybe it chose me. You know, this is another thing. Did I choose the pot or did the pot choose me? But yeah, but I think I started smoking pot, fun, excitement, boredom. And then once I started doing it, the feelings that it gave, you know, obviously you get a lot more stoned when you first start smoking than when you do later on. That green out experience that people hated when they got really stoned for the first time, and maybe even vomited because it was that intense. I'd love to have that feeling today. I can't seem to find weed strong enough that'll do that. Have the strongest weed as much as I want. And what happens is I end up not being able to consume enough of it fast enough, or if I'm smoking it, it affects the lungs and I start coughing and it stops me from smoking more. So I never get to actually get that large volume that I need of the stronger weed in my body to actually have what we call a green out. So green out's technically an overdose. People don't understand overdose. The word overdose doesn't mean death. The word overdose means you had too much. Now, you can have too much and die, or you can have too much and recover. You can also have too much and be permanently damaged. So that's another thing that people need to be careful of. There's people who have had different, and alcohol's a classic one. You can do liver damage, kidney damage, stomach damage to your stomach lining, your urinary tract, your skin, your joints. There's so many things, and these things aren't real serious, but almost everyone knows someone that's died an alcoholic, and you'd have to be lying to yourself if you said that that person who was an alcoholic all their life or all their adult life or for 10, 20 years before they died, you'd have to be lying to yourself to say that that person's life wasn't cut short by the alcohol use. You know what I mean? Like, they looked older than they were when they were in their 40s. They looked like they're in their 50s. When they were in their 50s, they almost needed full-time care. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy what some drugs, or especially something like alcohol, it's crazy what it can do to people, the control it can have on their lives. I've been sitting here talking to you guys for at least half. This part of this third part that I've got to edit in together. 38 minutes plus. I've been pretty much the whole time hit you with a bong packed in my hand. And just to prove it, I'm going to smoke it right now. Hang on. So, that was me having a bong on camera. But you didn't see a thing, right? Anyway, I've been waiting to have that. I've just been holding it going, I wish I could stop talking so I can smoke this. Because I hadn't had one since I got back from town. Oh, and just like a pot junkie, I'm starting to hang out. Anyway. Yeah, so that just helps me chill. For people that don't smoke pot. You probably hear I'm a little short of breath at the moment, and I'll just open my drink up and I'm having a squeeze. Now, squeeze is a look, isn't it? Having a sip. I don't know. What do I say, squeeze? Squeeze is when you have a look at something, isn't it? Have a little squeeze at it, I don't know. Talking crap now. Anyway, I need to end this so I can go smoke more weed. No, I need to end this because it's been going too long, really. It's 40 minutes here. I don't know what the other two recordings were. I think one was around the 20 minutes, half an hour mark itself, and the other one was 10, 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, or maybe even a bit longer than 20 minutes. So add all them together, we're well over an hour already. Maybe pushing towards an hour and a half, which is all right, like I don't mind a longer style upload. People are listening to these, and I really enjoy that. People are understanding me a bit better, and I feel like you guys are a few of you are beginning to connect with me. I'm going to guess that there's 9 people here that will listen to this over the next week. Alright, because my lowest view on the other Black Screen series is 9. Right, the lowest view count on any of the others is well, last time I checked, which was earlier today, it was 9, right, on the lowest one. 20 something I think on the highest one, and that's not a lot, it's nothing, but I've got a feeling that those 9 have actually listened to every single one, and they're here, they're actually also subscribers, and they're here waiting for the next in this series, this episode that I'm recording right now. They're waiting for it. So, and that's a really good feeling, knowing that people are willing to listen to you. It's a really good feeling, guys, especially when you talk as much crap as I do. No, I mean, I know I don't always talk crap. I sometimes talk about some good topics, and you just got to sift through and wade through the bullshit to get to them. But yeah, I'm trying to be me, and I'm trying to be as real as I can. I'm trying not to be a fake person on YouTube. This series is all about being, giving you guys the real me. When you see me at the creek with my dogs. Yeah, that's kind of the real me too, but I'm not showing you the bit where the dogs are tripping me over with their lead as I'm walking down there, and I'm going, stop it, get on the same side, what's wrong with you, why can't you both walk on the same side, why do you have to go either side of me and try and trip me over, what's wrong with you dogs? You know, you don't hear me losing my shit at my dogs on my videos. I cut that bit out, right? And I only show them having fun, like, oh, look, Missy, yay, hey, looky. You know what I mean? Like, I show you the good stuff, right? So that, as honest as it is, it doesn't feel completely open and honest because I edit it to show you the good stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of boring crap in with some of the longer ones, but especially the shorts, they're just good stuff, right? On the most part. And I do shorts. I've been a bit slack with them lately. I do have probably a fair bit of material that I could go ahead and just start making shorts out of right away, but I know I'm into this long version of uploads lately and the production. So I'm into doing this black screen series, and I'm also into filming around the place, like the creek with my little weir that I'm building, the little swimming hole. It's not really a swimming hole, it's just a spot to cool off. You can't swim in it, it's too small. But yeah, I want to make it so it's like at least waist deep, and so that a few people can fit in it, so we can all get in there, and maybe have a floating table stuck in the middle where we can put some drinks on or whatever and just relax and take some music down there. Wouldn't it be nice? Like have a little shady bit too, like some umbrellas. You know, those big umbrellas that provide a big shady area over a table or something like that. Or, you know, just a tarp tied up above it all, providing a bit of shade for when it's sunny in the middle of the day. But yeah, I've talked enough now, and I keep getting sidetracked, and I'm trying to wind this up. Let me just think or recap. Have I covered all that I need to cover? Probably not, but I just want to know if I'm trying to ask myself if I covered all I need to cover in regards to my drug history, my thoughts on drugs, where I'm at, where I've been. I think so. I think I've kind of covered it in this episode, guys. So if you've got questions, please, I'm more than happy to answer them. If you want to know what it was like doing this, or how did I stop taking that, or which one I found more addictive, or you want to share your experience. You used to smoke crack cocaine, and have I ever tried that? Or you used to be on ice yourself, or you're currently still on ice, you know, or you're currently an alcoholic, or you're a speed user, you shoot up speed like I used to. Whatever it is, guys, I don't care. I'm not here to judge. I'm all about acceptance, and Nimbin's all about acceptance too. We try not to be too judgy here, because the next person's just as messed up as you are. So, you know, so when a new person comes to town, as easy as it is for someone to start, you know, analysing them, pulling them apart and judging them, we also need to keep it real and understand that we were that new person that came to town once. For me, it was 18 years ago, and I came here with nothing, you know, a tent and a few mates and a bag of clothes. Yeah, I was living rough. And pretty much my entire Nimbin experience hasn't been far from that. And I love it. I love camping, so, you know, you're not going to scare me by sticking me in a tent. I mean, I stick myself in a tent, right? No one's sticking me in a tent. I stick myself in a tent. It's intense. Sorry, that's just a joke on camping, right? Camping's intense. But yeah, I don't mind living rough. I don't mind basic living. I don't mind not having stuff, things. I've been there when I was in Sydney. I remember sticking everything I owned into. One time I moved out of a place. I think I split up with a girl or something. I thought, I've got all this stuff, you know, and then I couldn't afford to pay the rent where I was, and then someone helped me. This was when I was in the church too. I left my missus had left me. I joined the church, and someone had helped me find a place in a share accommodation thing with some other Christians, but it wasn't all like full-on Christians. It was more laid back. They were Christians. They were looking for someone who was a Christian, not necessarily to preach to them or to preach with them or to pray with, but they just didn't want someone moving in who wasn't on the same page, basically. So anyway, I moved in there, and the room was furnished. Had a bed, had a bedside table, had a wardrobe, built-in, had a chest of drawers with a mirror on it. So I could, drawers straight away, a cupboard straight away. The only thing that was missing was a little TV, and I brought my TV. I think I had a VHS back in the day, a VHS video player. I brought that too. A clock radio, a couple other bits and pieces, and some clothes. Everything else I had went into storage. Everything. So, like, I had a 3-4 bedroom house that had everything. I had microwaves and TVs and all sorts of appliances. Like mowers, and I had couches and tables and wardrobes and barbecue and you name it. Just like every other house, I had all this stuff, and I had nowhere to put it because I'd moved into this tiny place. It's just a single bedroom that's already furnished. So pretty much everything I had, except for some clothes, the ones that I was using all the time. Even a lot of clothes went into storage. Yeah, everything other than that VHS video player, and the clock radio, and the little TV, everything went in storage. And then I couldn't keep up with the payments and lost it all. That was a big lesson, guys. In hindsight, I wish I'd never been paying those payments all that time. Wish I'd never bothered putting it in storage. Just send it all to the tip, right? Or sell it. So yeah, putting stuff into storage, guys, it's a risky game. If you're not confident that you are and can keep up storage payments, you might lose it all. And so you should never put into storage what you're not prepared to lose. It's an important lesson. Anyway, enough about that. It's off the topic altogether. But yeah, like I said, if there's something that you want to talk about as far as this topic, which is drugs, my drug use, my drug history, anything to do with cannabis, guys, anything to do with medicinal cannabis, I'm happy to answer those questions. I don't really want to get into consulting with you, but I'm even up for that. I'm happy to, if someone's genuine and they're not trying to use me, I'm happy to help someone with a bit of a consult for nothing. I'm even happy to direct them towards contacts. I'm not really interested in making money, so it's better for me to just pass you on to the contact. Maybe set it up first, get something sent to you, and then when it all arrives, it arrives with information so you can get more, so you don't have to harass me. So I had a mate that I helped out a couple of times like that, and then now he's just getting stuff from a place that I recommended. So yeah, I can help people out. I don't really want to. One, there's the law side of it. So I don't want to be known as a dealer. I don't want to be set up either, by a sting operation, or, I'm being paranoid here. But what healthy stoner isn't paranoid? But yeah, I just, I'm happy to help you out with questions and answers and that sort of thing, but I'm really not into being a middleman or a supplier. I will do it to help someone out, if someone's genuine, and I really feel, but it's going to be between us, it's private, and I'm pretty cautious, and I won't go overboard. I'm not going to be like sending people bags of weed either, like, even if they do send me the money for it first. It's not the way I work. I'll help you out with getting different medicinal oils and tinctures and rubs and maybe capsules with cannabis oil in them, different strengths, and CBD and that sort of thing. Maybe even a CBD vape pen. Nah, vapes are illegal in Australia just recently, so scratch that off that list actually. But yeah, like there's all sorts of things I might give you. I might not give you things, but I might give you a contact for something. So you might say seeds, I go, yeah, try these people. You might say edibles, I say, yeah, try these people. You know what I mean? Like, but really, it's not my thing. I'm not working as a cannabis consultant, and I haven't really been since COVID hit. So I'm out of the loop. I don't really want to do it. You know, I could have moved to Newcastle just after COVID and been earning $1,000 a week as a medicinal cannabis consultant there, mainly doing phone work, just answering the phones and talking to people about cannabis, medicinal cannabis, you know, helping them out with what they need. $1,000 a week. Some people probably don't think that's great money either, but I think that's a lot of money. But yeah, I'm not all about the money. Otherwise I'd be doing that, right? Otherwise I'd be saying, guys, you know, if I can help you out with something, I'd be straight up too. I'd say to you, if I can help you out with something, I need to make a little bit of a cut on it, but you'll be getting it from good sources where it's cheap anyway, so that won't bother you. You know what I mean? Like, I'd want to be making money out of people if I was genuine and I was wanting to do this. I wouldn't just be helping people out for nothing and just out of being a genuine person and caring for people. It'd be all about the dollar. So, and I don't want to be that person either. You know, I don't want to, it's not my thing. It was my thing. It's not my thing now. But like I said, I have the experience. If someone needs help, if someone's been, especially if someone's been led astray or been misinformed or unsure about something, I'm totally open to answer questions and discuss things. Probably best that we move it somewhere private, like Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp. But yeah, I'll even talk in the comment section here to a limited degree, because I don't want YouTube. I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube. I'm protecting my channel. Don't want to lose my channel just because I'm giving someone some advice towards medicinal cannabis. You know what I mean? So anyway, we're nearly at an hour just for this bit now, so it's definitely probably up around an hour and a half, getting up towards 2 hours now, which I don't mind. But it is time to end. And please, guys, like I've said a couple of times already, comment down below, hit the like button if you like this long version of a kind of podcast or black screen series. If you like this, hit the like button. If you didn't like it, you can hit the like button 3 times, because you notice that if you hit the thumbs down button, it doesn't seem to do anything. It doesn't light up. Doesn't have a counter on it either. So it's like it's broken, right? So yeah, what you do, you hit the thumbs up 3 times, and it tells them it's like it's a thumbs down. And yeah, it goes straight to Facebook, and they sort it out. So yeah, either you like it or you don't like it. I don't really mind. I prefer a like, of course. But yeah, comment below. Share this stuff with your friends if you think someone else might like this or benefit from anything here, or might like my channel, or might be my style of person. Either they might like me or I might like them, or we might become friends. I'm happy to make friends with people through this platform. I'm open to friendships amongst my audience. I will reply to comments. If you comment, I will reply to them eventually when I get to them. It might be almost straight away, within an hour or so of you commenting, or it might be a week or 2 later, because I might miss it straight away. Anyone that wants me to subscribe to their channel, just ask. Just say, hey, I'm a new subscriber. I'm trying to get my numbers up because I don't have many subscribers. I'd appreciate a subscription back. I would appreciate if you subscribe back to my channel, and I will just click on your name and hit subscribe, and yeah, I won't check the notification bell on your channel unless you've got a channel that interests me and it's got stuff that I think I might be interested in. Then I might turn it on. But other than that, I'll just subscribe, doing the return thing. You know, I don't expect you to subscribe to me, and I'm not prepared to subscribe back, right? So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, share. Rewind this when you finish, please. Some people forget to rewind these videos when they're finished, in podcasts when they're finished with them. And the next person gets it, and it's all the way at the end of the thing, and they've got to rewind it all the way at the beginning. It's painful, guys. So please, just do everyone a favour, just rewind it back to the start, you know, when you finish listening to this. Be kind, rewind. Remember, it was on the old VHS videos back in the day, in the 80s and 90s. Be kind, please be kind and rewind. Anyway, I love you heaps, guys. You mean the world to me. I really mean that. At the moment, although I've got a much larger following on Facebook, I think I've got about 1,600 odd friends on Facebook, and I've got about 150 something on YouTube on this channel. I've got other channels, but yeah, this channel, my personal channel, David Carr channel, it's only 155, I think, 154. Yeah, I think I've got 154 subscribers and 155 videos, and this will make 156 videos. So my thing of doing one video for each new subscriber, I'm actually two videos ahead when I upload this, unless I get another subscriber or two. So I'm keeping ahead of the curve, so to speak. But yeah, if my channel starts to blow up, I'm going to be in trouble. If I get like 50 subscribers overnight, how am I going to do 50 uploads? The content might, you think the content's bad now. You'd imagine what it'd be like if I tried to do 50 uploads in a day. God, what a mess. Anyway, cheers, guys. Love you heaps, and stay tuned for episode 5 of my black screen series. This is Dave, signing off from Nimbin. See yous.